Hello friends, myself Jayashri Teli welcomes all of you in TYBA Special English Drama. Friends, we are discussing on module number 7 Nagmandala Girish Karnat. In last video, we discussed on the short story of Nagmandala. Today, let's discuss on act-wise summary of Nagmandala. Nagmandala is divided into two acts. You know that it is a story written by Girish Karnad, and this story was told him his friend, mentor, well-known poet A.K. Ramanujan, and that's why Girish Karnad dedicated this play to A.K. Ramanujan. This is written in 1987 and published in 1988. The subtitle of the story is The Play with a Cobra, and when we think about this story, the plot of the story, here it is the story within story. Open-ended story, and this story is divided into, or this play is divided into two acts. First it is written in Kannada and then translated in English. So we discussed on the characters and also on the short story. Let's discuss on the act-wise summary. I am now telling you what happens in act first. In act first, the narrator of Nagamandala is the story and is narrated to a man. The main character of Nagamandala are the Rani, Appanna and Naga. In short story, I speaks about the man who was a playwright, the flames, the discussions, and the story. I am also cleared it that here the story worked as a character. So, in Act 1, we see that the story is a narrator to man, and the main character of Nagamandala are Rani, Appanna, and Naga. There is a couple Appanna and Rani in a village, and Appanna was a illegitimate affair with a concubine and keeps away Rani from him. He spends most of his time away or outside the house. He lives always with concubine's house. He visits his house only once in a day for lunch. When he visits day midday for lunch only. He was married with Rani, but he have a illegitimate relationship with a concubine. Concubine means here she was a prostrate, Vaishya, and Appanna was very rude, rash person. That's why what he do? He locked up his wife inside the home. He locked Rani inside the home, and their married life is not good. Means totally Appanna treats very badly Rani. On the other hand, Rani longs for her husband's love, but he gets hate only. There is no development in Appanna's behavior. Rani waiting. One day he will change, but no change. Appanna always angry. He was in angry mode. Whenever he came home, he was in angry mode. He shouts on her. He comes home only once a midday for lunch, but he never in good mood. or he never speaks with love. He was never normal person also. Rani always under burden. She has no liberty in home or never get his love to her. There is no one who support her in his house because Appanna and Rani are the only two persons in their house. There was no other person, parents or other sisters, brothers, whatever. No one. Rani wants love of husband. You know that. Newly married wife always accepts love of husband. She wants love of husband at any cost. He wants that Appana should behave with her very lovingly. She wants it. But there is no way. She has no way find how to change Appana. One day what happens? Kurudava, who was a blind woman, learns that Appanna is very rude with her wife. She listens crying of Rani, her son Kappanna knows that Appanna locked inside his wife every day. Kurudava lives, she was a neighbor. She is neighbor of Rani and her son Kappanna knows that Appanna locked inside his wife every day. Kurudava wants to meet her and speak something her. She wants to support her. But no way to meet or speak as the home his house was locked outside and Rani is inside. But her will is very strong and that's why what happens? So they with help of Kappanna, Kurudava meets and speaks with Rani through the window. Rani tells her misery. Rani who opens her heart. Kurudava learns her pathetic situation and she gives her two mystical roots. Who? Kurudava gives her two mystical roots. These mystical roots help her in changing Appanna's hate into love. These mystical roots help her in changing the Appanna's hate into love, such what Kurudava hopes. Rani also hopes that if she applied these mystical roots on Appanna, definitely he changed. Once these three roots were given to Kurudava by a saint. As she was unmarried, no one to marry, ready to marry her, she applied one of these three roots on a person who come to see her for wedding and the person attracted, she applied this mystical roots, the person attracted towards her and she married him. Their marriage taken place and Kappanna is his son. Look here, means these mystical roots are very powerful. Rani became happy to listen the story of Kurudava and ready to do it. Rani is ready because Rani know that whatever happened, by hook or crook, she wants Appanna's love. In short, she is in hungry of love. So she became ready to apply the mystical roots. She takes mystical roots and the next day she applied one of the two mystical roots on Appanna. She mixed the roots in food at lunch. Appanna took lunch, but he feels uneasy for some time. After some times, as usual, he goes outside to his beloved or concubine, or in the film Nagmandala, this concubine is known as a Chalue. He went to this woman, other woman. Effect of mystical root is very poor. So, Kurudava advised her to use big and last root. Kurudava advised her that you should, because Kurudava wanted the effect, know the effect of mystical roots. She asks, what happens? Rani thinks that something will happen, but no way. Rani says about the poor effect of mystical roots. Kurudava then advised her to use big and last root, which is more stronger than first one. Rani thinks it's right. She has to do it. She mixes it in curry. But what happens? Curry, for using more mystical roots, curry became reddened. Curry reddened. So she has no dare to serve it to Appanna. She know Appanna was a very strong person, very rash, angry man. So she has no dare to serve it to Appanna. She pours curry on the ant hill. She goes outside in his backyard and pours curry on the ant hill, where a king cobra lived. King Cobra means that here King Cobra is known as a Naga. Naga tastes it unknowingly. It is a very funny one, but Naga drinks or tastes curry. Every mystical thing for or a big magic happen. Naga falls in her love. Look here, what happened? Very magical thing happens here, and Naga falls in love of Rani. Here it's Act First. Now let's turn towards the Act Second. Naga takes the form of Appanna. Look here what happens. Very. Naga takes the form of Appanna and visits Rani at every night. Naga was in love of Rani, that's why he behaves very romantically with her. Rani became very happy. Naga is in form of Appanna, who gives Rani respect of wife. She becomes very happy with flowering love of Appanna. Every day he promises her to meet next night. He disappears before the sunrise. But what happens? Rani's original husband Appanna, who comes home at midnight for lunch, and there is no change in Appanna's behavior. He behaves as usual in a day, rashly, rudely, angrily. She shouted. Somewhat Rani became confused about, about Appanna's behavior. Why he behaves like this at day and why he behaves so lovingly at night. She inquires Naga in the form of Appanna. Yes, he in the night Appanna behaves with very lovingly. Why you are so angry at midnight, midday? Daytime, you are so rash, so angry, and in night, you loves me. But Naga is it says that do not think about all these things. Once Rani notices blood on the Naga's body, she hurries to bring the ornaments for dressing it. She sees the cobra reflection in mirror box where Apanna sits. There is the reflection of cobra. He sees. She sees. She screams, shouted. She become fear because of fear. She says Naga that she has found a cobra reflection in mirror right at the same place where Aparna is sitting now. But she cannot find snake when turns back. She turns back, but there is Aparna, no snake. Once again, Kurudava and Kappanna come to visit Rani at window, and at the same time they scream, shouted to outside after seeing a cobra coming out of Rani's bathroom drainage. The Kappanna and Kurudava sees the snake who coming out of the Rani's bathroom drainage, and they shouted, screams very loudly. Rani finds her husband. At the same time, Rani finds her husband in means he is absent. Before that, he was there, but when the Kappanna and Kurudava shouts, Rani was not. Rani's husband Appanna was not available at the home. Kurudava says that she has been there for half an hour, but Appanna is not seen coming out of the house. Kurudava says that she is waiting near about half an hour, but Appanna is not seen coming out of the house. Rani confused. What happened then? He is not in the home. He is not goes outside. Then where he goes? How he was disappeared is a question in front of Rani. But she confused. She has no answer. Number of times she confuses, but yet she don't know about who was the Napana who lives with her lovingly. At noon, Kappanna visits home. At noon, Appanna visits his home. He shouted at Rani as his dog is found dead. It is once again one more incident that Appanna, who was very suspicious on Rani, that's why he keep a dog outside the house and Naga beat her, and that's why the dog is dead. And the dead when Appanna sees the dead dog, he shouted on Rani, who came? What happens? Next day, Appanna also intelligent person. That's why he brings a mungus. Mungus, mungus आपल्याला माहिती आहे. टू होम. साप मुंगुसांचा खेळ आपण बघितलेला आहे. सापाला फक्त त्या ठिकाणी थांबवण्याची क्षमता किंवा मारण्याची किंवा सापाबरोबर दोन हात करण्याची क्षमता ही मुंगूसलाच आहे. Appanna know it. That's why next day he brings a mongoose to home. And within a day of time, it is also enjoyed by something. And on the same day, it is enjoyed by something. That night, Naga in the form of Appanna does not attend Rani. Near about next 2 weeks, Naga does not come to Rani as he was injured by mongoose. Look here, you know that? On the same day when he bring the mongoose become injured in within a day, and in the form of Naga in the form of Appanna does not attend the Rani. Near about next 2 weeks, Naga does not come to Rani as he has injured by the mongoose. he fight with Mungus. After 2 weeks, he visited Rani and Naga learned about Rani's pregnancy. Rani Naga made her pregnant. But Naga is not happy. Suddenly Appanna appears and Naga learns his arrival and he disappears. Suddenly Appanna appears there and Naga learns his arrival and he disappears. Appanna is enraged to know about Rani's pregnancy. When original Appanna learns about the Rani's pregnancy, he became very angry. Because original Appanna know surely that he never touched his wife Rani. Then how she became pregnant? Here is a question in front of Appanna. How is it possible? Pregnancy of Rani totally impossible for him because he never touched her. He always remained out of the home. And from the first day of his marriage, he is outside. How Rani became pregnant? Hence, he accuses her of harlot. He accuses for illegitimate relationship with others, or he was a doubt on her character, and that's when he declares to take her to Panchayat. Panchayat, you know, right? The Panchayats are in rural areas, in every village is the Panchayat committee which solves the problems with discussion. He once again locks her in his home and leaves to his concubine. At night, Naga once again appears. She lashes him with a plenty of questions about his behavior that day. Naga convenience anyway and advises her on what to do in the panchayat to prove her innocence. Naga advised her what to do to panchayat to prove her innocence. In meantime, Kurudava is very restless, walking here and there because her son Kappanna is missing from 1 week and that's why she is restless. She is wandering here and there in search of Kappanna. So, Rani seems impossible to seek any help from Kurudava. Now, Rani has a big question. Her husband drag her to the panchayat, in front of panchayat, village panchayat, and Rani does the same as Naga in form of Appanna says her. At the panchayat, Rani pulls out a cobra from anthill. That Naga in the form of Appanna advises her that you take the oath of Naga and you should what you should do the anthill. You put hand in the anthills. When Rani put hands on in a cobra from anthill and takes oath on it, promising that he takes oath. She takes oath. And what is the oath she takes? She has never touched anybody till the day except her husband and that snake. Means now she is touching the snake, that's why she is taking the oath. She has never touched anybody till the day except her husband and the snake. And the snake moves around her neck like a garland. And at the same time, what happens? Snake flies, flies and it moves around her neck like a garland. Garland means एखादा हार गळ्यामध्ये घालावं तसं नागसाप अगदी जसं परमेश्वराच्या गळ्यामध्ये आपण बघतो तिच्या गळ्यामध्ये जाऊन पडतो. From this incident, Panchayat was very impressed, and the village Panchayat declares that she is of a divine birth and comes to a conclusion that Rani is not or means also Vaishya, or her character is pure, and thus her innocence is proved in front of the Panchayat. Panchayat declares her innocence. Panchayat declares her, accepts that she is goddess. She has a divine birth. Then there is no choice in front of Appanna, who was looking all things. And Appanna now ready to accept her wife as a wife. Now she accepts Rani as a wife, and he also accepts the her pregnancy also. Now both Appanna and Rani began their happy life with newborn child. One night Naga appeared in her bedroom. Naga found Rani in her bed with husband. Naga intends to kill her because Naga loved her. And now Appanna is in place of Naga, and that's why Naga intends to kill her. But his love for Rani stopped him. Naga takes the form of a small snake, and before that Naga tried to kill Appanna. Naga tried to kill Appanna, but with love of Rani, his poison is emptied. His poison turned in love, and that's why he has no power to kill anyone. Naga, that's why his Naga takes the form of small snake and hides in her long hair. Naga takes the form of small snake and hides in her long hair. When she wakes up and feels her hair is unusually heavy, when she wakes up in the morning, she feels that her hairs are unusually heavy. And she combs her hair, and a very small dead cobra falls down. She combs her hair, ते आपली डोकं विंचरते आणि त्याच वेळेला त्या ठिकाणी छोटासा साप तिच्या डोक्यातून पडतो जो मृत आहे. Appanna is happy at that their son is saved from cobra. She is a goddess, she accepts it. And Rani requests to perform a ritual for the cobra on this day every year, to which Appanna gladly agrees. And now, in the end, it is said that Rani requests her husband a ritual for the cobra on this day every year, to which Appanna gladly agrees. Here ends the real story. But when the story narrator when the story means narrator of the story ends the story, the man, the playwright who was the listener here, does not accept the conclusion. He provides his own conclusion, and that is this conclusion is, when Rani finds the cobra falling down from her hair, it is alive, and Appanna tries to kill the snake, but Rani takes the cobra and hides it in her long hair again, and at the end, Nagmandala, all live a happy life. It is the end of the listener, because there is a condition, that the mind should spread the story, and that's where man says that I will change the end of the story. As he was a playwright, he do not accept this end, so he changed this end. Whenever you go through the Nagamandala, every story edited by every book. It may be a film or any. The end is different from each other. There are three, four ends. We will discuss specially on the end of the Nagmandala. Okay. I think all of you learns the detailed summary. You listen once, twice, thrice because it is necessary when it is very long, and I think its time is also so extra. So we have to stop here. Thank you very much.